So let's think about what we want to do here. The current setup basically means whenever this ball hits anything, it's going to change direction on the Y, which means if it was going up, it's going to go down. If it was going down, it's going to go up. And it might go left or right. It's randomly selected. And that works fine, but I think for the wall, what we want to do is, let's see if I can show this to you. When this ball hits the wall, we want it to continue going the same direction on the Y. So if it's going up like this, it should just continue to go up on the Y-axis, but change direction on the X-axis. So that behavior is different. And the ball needs to know what object it's hitting, what kind of object this ball was hitting, right? So we're going to need to change the behavior of this ball a little bit, right? So let me just reset the position of the ball and go to the playmaker editor for this object, for the ball. Now you can see that the current setup is, as soon as there's a collision, we flip the Y and we might flip the X, depending on the random event. What I want to do now is I want the ball to know if we're hitting the wall or not. So let's go to the wall. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's deal with the left one first. We need to give this a tag. So if you look at the inspector, you'll see that there's a tag option here. And this is one way for you to put another label on the object. So the object has a name that you can use the name to find the object, but it's a better way to do it, to do things if you can assign tags to objects. So we're going to do that, and if you don't quite understand it, that's okay. Once you've done this, you'll know what we're doing. So go to tag, and we're going to add a new tag. Right, so click on add tag, and you'll see this tag manager tool, and you can use this to add tags and layers. We're not going to get into layers right now, but let's open up tags, and there's no tags here, and we're just going to add a new one called wall. And you can see that as soon as you start typing, the system automatically adds a new empty tag for you if you want to add more tags. I can have food, or goods, food, etc. But I'm not going to use that many, and I'm going to change this back to 2. So we have just added the wall tag. And now this is a little bit tricky, but go back to the wall. You have to go back to the wall and then select tag again, and then select wall. This is the new tag that we've just added. And make sure that you do that for both walls. Right, okay, so they both have the tag, wall, no, the wall tag. The walls have the wall tag now. Okay, good. Now let's go back to the ball. And the next thing we want to do is, I want to create a new state, and this is for only when the ball hits the wall, right? So wall hit, right? And we need to change this event because we don't want it to always go to the flip state when there's a collision, right? So I'm going to create 2 new events. One is called hit wall, and the second one is hit others, right? So when the ball hits the wall, we want it to do certain things, and then if it's not the wall, different behavior, right? So I'm gonna change this collision enter to hit others, right? So this basically means if the ball hits something that's not a wall, then we'll go, if the ball hits something that's not a wall, then we'll go through our usual state. Right? We'll go through the flip on the Y and then maybe flip on the X. And then I'm going to add a second transition called hit wall, and that's going to go to the wall hit state. And this is when we will flip the X but not the Y. So we can either copy this and paste it here, so multiply the X movement by -1, and then we add a finish state and go back to move. Now we can either do that, or if you want to be clever, you can also just connect this to the flip X state. Essentially these two are the same, so there's no need to create a separate one. But just for now, I'm going to do that because we might want to add some different effects later on down the line to whenever you hit the wall, maybe we'll play a different type of sound. So it might be good to use a separate state for that. Okay, so we've got the events, we've got the states, but what's missing here is a logic that's going to know which events to go to, right? Because right now we have a translate which moves the ball, but nothing else. Okay, so let's go to the action browser and go down to the physics tab, the physics category, and what we want to do is add collision events, right? So this basically gives you a bit more control over the collisions, right? So it's going to, let's just give it a try and then you'll see what I mean. Let's put that in. On collision enter, right? So this is similar to what we had before, collision enter, when the object enters a collision event, collision state, when a collision happens. Collide tag. Now this is the tag that's on the other object. So when the ball hits the wall, it's going to return this tag to the ball. It's going to return the wall tag. So we're going to change this to wall. So when the ball hits the wall, or hits any object with the wall tag, then we're going to go to the event hit wall, and that's when it's going to go to this wall hit state and then flip the x-axis, right? Flip the value of x movement. And let's add another one, another collision event. And then let's drag this down again. I'm going to put that one at the bottom, right? So the first we have when you collide with the wall, go to hit wall. If the object is not tagged and the wall is currently the only object that's tagged, everything else, there are no tags on them. So I'm going to keep that as untagged. And if you're not sure about it, just click on the bar. You can see that the tag is untagged. Even the player bar, it's untagged. So I think that would be fine. And then this is when we go, okay, if the other object is untagged, then we go to the hit others event. And that would mean that we'll go from this state to the hit others event and then go to flip. And then I'm going to change this to flip Y. So it's a little bit more descriptive. And I'm just going to also change this to just flip X, just for consistency. Okay, so I think that should work. Let's see. Hit play and see what that does. It might be a while until the ball hits the wall. So let's change things a bit. I'm simply going to click on the wall and then just move the walls closer to the player. So just so that we can quickly test this. Okay, play. Okay, so it seems like it's working. Right, so when the ball hits the wall, it simply changes the direction on left and right, but continues going up or down, and it doesn't get stuck again. So that's good, that's what we wanted to do. Okay, so that's good. So on play, and then just undo the the movements of the repositioning of the walls. Okay, save that. So let's give this a try. I'm just gonna play this and see if we're missing anything. Okay. So pretty much everything you would expect from a breakout style game. A little bit slow, I think so. So I might increase the speed on the ball. I think that would probably be a little bit more fun. Yeah, let's do that now. Click on ball, and let's see. Do I have a? I don't have a speed variable, but that's okay. We can just manually change this number here. This is the number that we want to change. If we just do -7, -7. Play and see if that feels a little bit better. Yeah, so that's a lot faster, so that's good. And of course, another thing you can do here is, oh, the ball is going over the roof, and just there's nothing to stop it from moving at the top. So we'll probably add another wall up top, another roof, sort of roof object there. But another thing you can do with the ball is you can create a separate variable called speed, and then you can calculate the y movement and x movement based on that speed. But I don't think that's necessarily I don't think that's necessary for now. And also, you might want to have a little fun with it, so you might want it to go slower on the y and then faster on the x. What would that look like? Let's just test this. So the movement it's a bit flatter, right? So it doesn't go up and down as much as the x movement. So you can sort of change the angle of movement there. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this as 7 and 7. I think that was a good. That felt quite good. So let's do that, and let's just put a roof at the top. Again, a cube. Where'd that cube go? Here. And I'm going to change this to change the name to roof. And let's scale it. Actually, let's reposition it first. So it's everything is sort of on the same 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 Z position. So we make sure that the ball can hit it. And let's just scale this up. Right. It's okay if it's overlapping with the wall. I don't think that's a problem. And maybe just a little bit on the Z as well. Doesn't really matter, but I think it looks kind of nice that way. Well, okay, I think that looks right. Put it up here. And do I want to change the behavior of the ball when it hits the roof? Well, let's think about this. I think it should be fine because we want it to change direction. So if it's going up, it should go down. And do we want to change the direction of X? I think it's fine to leave it random. So that's fine. So let's save that. And if you want to quickly test that, let's click on the bars. Let's select all the bars and just deactivate them for now, just for testing. Right, so they're all gone from the scene, and let's just hit play. Okay, so the ball is moving, it's going up, and it hits the roof and it comes back down. So that's the behavior we wanted. So that's good. Let's pause it, and stop the game, and activate the bars again. Okay, so that's good. The next thing we want to do is we want the game to restart whenever the ball falls through. Right? So whenever you didn't catch the player, whenever the player doesn't catch the ball, then it restarts the level. So I'm going to duplicate the roof just because I'm a little bit lazy. Didn't want to recreate a cube. And I'm going to put this new object. First of all, I'm going to change the name to floor. And let's see. Let's put it somewhere here, just below the player object, the player bar. I think that's fine. Okay, save. And this thing here, we need to give it an action. Now I can either add the action to the ball to say, well, when you hit the floor, restart the game, or I can put it on the floor object and say when a ball hits you, restart the game. I think that will work. So yeah, let's give that a try. So floor, right click, add a state machine, and as usual, usually before that ball hits you, you're in an idle state, and when the ball hit you, and when the ball hits you, you're in the ball state. Or yeah, it doesn't really matter what name you give it. And here I'm just going to use a collision event because nothing else is moving in the scene, so there's nothing else that would collide with the floor. Actually, just to be safe, let's not do that. That's actually not the best practice here. So I'm going to create a new tag for the ball as well, so we can recognize the ball. Right. So let's go to add tag and add a ball tag. And go back to the ball, select the ball tag. Now the name doesn't have to be the same, so we can change this to power. What other names can I use? Round thing. Okay, I can name this round thing, and it doesn't matter because I can still use the tag to identify this object. Anyways, coming back to the floor. Now what I want to do is, again, go to the action browser. In physics, let's do a collision event. And let's remove this event, we're not using it. I'm going to add an event, hit ball. In the state, when on collision enter, and if the collider, if the other object is a ball, if the other object has a ball tag, then you send the event hit ball. And we're going to add that event here. And it's going to go to this state. I'm going to call this restart game, restart scene. So this state is called restart scene. So when the ball hits this object, the floor object, we're going to restart the scene. So in this restart scene state, click on your action browser. And let's see, should be under level. And we're just going to go restart level. Okay, so that's straightforward. If the ball hits the floor, we restart the level. Right, okay. Let's see if that works. Let's give it a try. Hit play. Okay, and now I'm gonna intentionally miss the ball. Okay, I don't know if you catch that, but as soon as the ball hits the floor, it might be a bit easier to see it from the scene view. So whenever the ball hits the floor, we restart the scene. Okay, so it feels pretty good now. I think we got most of the basic gameplay elements in there. So that's great, and I think we might in the next video we'll add a little bit more, maybe some sound effects, some particle effects, or whatnot, using what we've learned in the previous weeks.